Clarence Thomas had one of the most distinguished legal careers in American history. He's the only second African-American to ever serve on the Supreme Court, and Justice Thomas likes to stay out of the spotlight. He rarely speaks to the media. Luckily, he made an exception for me. Maybe it's because I clerked for the Supreme Court for him just a few years ago. We spoke earlier about his judicial philosophy, his contentious confirmation hearing, and his friendship and respect for the late, great Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. Welcome, Justice Thomas. Great to see you.
Well, thank you for having me, Laura.
It's only been 25 years since I worked for you. Oh, I'm totally dating myself, and that's completely fine. You know, I was thinking a lot about what I wanted to ask you in this interview, because I know you kind of loathe doing any press interviews, and that's well established. But I was thinking about your friendship with Justice Scalia, and he was also a friend of mine. Tell me about the court without him.
Well, I think the most charitable thing to say is that it's different. And I think my colleagues would agree. I mean, there's sort of a big emptiness to it. He had a way of filling up the room with his personality, his quips, his intellect, his humor. You know, when he's alone or in a group, he's got to be on stage, and he was a lot of fun. You know, it's interesting. I did not know him before I went to the court, and I got to know him, and we developed a friendship, a bond of trust, and so for me, personally, it's very different. And I have excellent colleagues there. I mean, Justice Alito is just a fabulous person. Justice Gorsuch is just outstanding, and of course my friends who've been there for a while are just good people. It's worked out very well, but without him, it's very, very different. It's an entirely different court without him.
Justice Gorsuch, there's some reports that he's ruffled some feathers at the court. Is there anything to that, or how is he perceived?
Yeah. Well, it's good. I don't have any feathers, so I'm certainly not a part of that.
Well, junior justices typically hang back a little bit at the beginning, but I kind of like the fact that he went right in there. It's like,
he's no different from any. He is a good man, and I have no idea what they're talking about. You know, years ago, I heard reports that Justice Scalia was tossing things and slamming doors, and
I never saw
all this. I never did either, and I was next door to him, so I said, "What are you holding back when I'm here?" Because I hear you're doing all these things. So no, you know, people have to say what they have to say. I don't see all those things. When you're new on the court, you're trying to find your way. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of personal adjustments. You're moving your family. You're getting through the effects of a confirmation. I don't care who that is. And it is an adjustment period. This is not the Court of Appeals. This court is quite different from being, for him, on the 10th Circuit, for me, having been on the D.C. Circuit. You were there in my second year, so you know it's still going through an adjustment.
Well, we had that small office, Justice.
That's right.
We had like a closet for an office. Now you guys have this really nice chambers, but we had to deal with a small, tiny office.
Well, law clerks have those chambers now, so. I just want you to know they put no judges.
Yeah, no one gets in there anymore. The court itself, you know, the outsiders, people who never had a chance to visit the court, they hear about the court. They see that annual photo that you all take, and
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting, and you all look like you just lost your best friend. I mean, you're rarely smiling, and it looks really kind of dour, an unhappy place to be. And I know you were in the seminary for a time, and I think, gee, Justice Thomas still leads that kind of monastic life. You know, you don't give many interviews, you don't talk to all that many people in the public eye. But is it collegial on the inside for people who don't know about it?
It is a good place to work. You can disagree with this opinion or that, but I'm not the person to say it is a sour place or it's a dour place or that it is funereal in its atmosphere. It is a wonderful place to work.
I loved it in Jan Greenberg's book in 2007 about the court, Supreme Conflict. She exploded this myth that pretty much everyone had to concede was a myth, that you were like Scalia's puppet early on, and that you just were. that you just agree with Scalia and all this stuff. And then, of course, she went from case to case to case involving race, involving, Aryan Brotherhood, prison gang membership. Remember that after Fortis? A long time ago. And that you ended up having your own view of jurisprudence, your own approach to judging that was completely unique, and sometimes to the consternation of Justice Scalia.
Yeah. Well, he and I, we had a bond, but I have a long history of being told what to do. I really do that well, I think people, again, as I said to you earlier, people have to say what they have to say. It is a place where individuals do their work. Nobody follows the other person. Justice Scalia didn't follow me, and I didn't follow him. And I dare say nobody up there follows another person.
The reasoning of your opinions, your philosophy, is described as alternatively formalistic, rigid, strictly conservative. How do you describe your philosophy, Justice?
I think it's get it right. It's I think we are required to reason to a conclusion, and that's what we try to do, and try to do it in a way that it is accessible to regular people. I think when people don't agree with you, you said you're going to a football game. I am a huge Nebraska fan.
Yeah, we're getting into that, by the way, the Cornhuskers.
No, I mean, we're not doing that. We're doing okay, but not great.
Yeah.
The volleyball team, my favorite team, is
great.
doing fabulous.
Oh, okay, well, good.
So,
how's the field hockey team doing?
No, volleyball is a big deal. We have over 8,000 people per game.
That's amazing.
So people have a tendency in sports to be outcome oriented. So you want a particular outcome. You want to win the game. If the referees make a call consistent with the outcome you prefer, then you say the referee did a great job because that referee has somehow benefited and made possible the outcome you want. I think we have to be careful not to take outcomes that we want and backwash that into the process of decision making. So you don't reach a decision and then force the process. You use the process and try to do it in a legitimate way. Again, something Justice Scalia and I agreed on. You don't justify the outcome. You reason to the outcome.
28 years ago, you went through the worst confirmation spectacle in history.
Mr. Chairman, I am a victim of this process. My name has been harmed. My integrity has been harmed. My character has been harmed. My family has been harmed. My friends have been harmed. There is nothing this committee, this body, or this country can do to give me my good name back. Nothing. I will not provide the rope for my own lynching or for further humiliation. No job is worth what I've been through. No job.
You said at the time that I'm a victim of this process. My name has been harmed. My integrity has been harmed. My character has been harmed. No job is worth what I have been through. No job. Was it worth it?
That's a good question. I think we are called to do certain things. In my youth, I thought I was called to be a priest. I thought that was my vocation. And I think there are jobs that perhaps and experiences that you wouldn't choose, but when you're called to do it. Now, think about it a second. When we do Wounded Warrior events, or we go up to do wreaths across America, what do you tell the widows, the families of the fallen, that you were too afraid to go through a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of difficulty to do a job like this when they actually were in harm's way? What do you tell the young man who's a double amputee because of war, that you were afraid to go through that? I don't think anyone would choose to go through unpleasantness, But if it has to be that to do what is right, then so be it.